Shaloha, Sister Kate here, and
PJ,
the driver, and then, security right there. We were in a meeting where the topic of standard operating procedures was presented, and a person in that meeting asked a question about what did we think 3 standard operating procedures for a MAG might be. What kind of things might that cover? And it was kind of strange how nobody really answered that. So Pastor brought up the point, that might be a good video. And I'm no expert. I'm kind of collateral in my knowledge of that phrase, although I'm not collateral to the concept in general. And so during the meeting, I gave an example about Girl Scouts, because I was a Girl Scout leader for a while, and just in the Girl Scout, when they train you as a leader, they give you a very set script for how a meeting should run. And it's basically a standard operating procedure for a Girl Scout meeting. And I shared that with somebody. And then I thought about, okay, for a MAG, what kind of thing might you have a standard operating procedure for? And I am certain my husband will cover it in better detail. Well, not better, but in very military terms and his training and stuff.
SOP.
On his channel or on his Patreon. So you will get that aspect of it if that's what you're looking for. And mine would be the civilian side of it. And Pastor had said, well, I thought you were going to talk about being on a fire department, and I hadn't really considered that. But now I will talk about that. On the fire department, one of the things you were taught was how to handle the equipment, different equipment, all kinds of equipment. Driving the trucks, equipment on the trucks, equipment you might be wearing. And one of the things that really made a difference in my life, which sounds really strange, but it really does work, is they taught us different ways to fold a tarp. And they definitely had, this is the way you're going to do it. And that is what an SOP is. It's a standard operating procedure, meaning you're going to do this each time this way. And the reason people form those is because it's very efficient. You don't have to have each individual person trying to fold a tarp and doing it wrong and having to learn from their mistakes, and then finally coming to the conclusion that this is the best one. You're saving a lot of time. And also, not so much with the tarp, but other equipment, you're going to save wear and tear on the equipment. You're going to get the best result out of the equipment. And then with regular maintenance, you're going to be able to sustain the equipment. So the particular fold that I really liked was called the one-man deploy, and it was folded in such a way that one person could open the whole tarp up and get it spread out like it needed. And so you folded it back that way, and it worked great. Now for your MAG, of course, every MAG's going to be different. Why are you meeting? What is your MAG for? Is it for in emergency situations, like a hurricane comes through? Or is it a weekly thing for, let's just say you have a problem with wild raccoons in your neighborhood and you're trying to help your neighbors so everyone's trash doesn't get broken into. So you form your MAG with all your neighbors, and all of you, keep watch 1 hour a night, or all of you put out cameras, or however you decide to deal with your raccoon problem. So I would think, in a general way, and this is my opinion only, that you would have probably what your meetings would be like, standard operating procedures, just so it's not just everyone standing around talking for an hour and we decide on nothing. You know what I mean? You've been to meetings where it's just very inefficient. It's fun to sit there and talk to everybody, but if you actually have a mission you're trying to accomplish, then you should have your meetings set up in such a way that whatever issues you have, they get dealt with efficiently. So, you know, a standard operating procedure for when you get together. And it can be like a meeting, but it can also be when you're actually out doing something. Let's just say your mag likes to go camping. So you could have a standard operating procedure for when everyone arrives at the location. What are the things that you all do first? You park, everybody parks. Girl Scouts had a thing about everybody parks, backing into the space so you can see when you pull out little kids if they're in front of the car. You've arrived there, everyone's parked in a certain way, and then everyone, you know, do you have a little meeting beforehand, or does everyone immediately start unpacking all their things, opening up their vehicles, and what's the first thing that's going to come out and get set up? Usually when you camp,
A machine gun.
after that, it's the tent. You know, you're going to get your site where you're going to be spending the night ready. So you're going to get your tent out. You're going to set your chairs up. You're going to put your clothes and stuff inside the tent. Next thing would be food. How are we doing the food? Do we have a group kitchen set up, and we're going to take that all out, place it in the, you know, the middle of the camp, and then, you know, 4 of the families are going to take all the stuff out and start chopping vegetables up? Or is it one person who's the cook, and that person's going to show up and be doing that while everyone else is doing their tent? Those are the kind of things I picture the standard operating procedure covering, especially if you think it's important. Like on a fire scene, it is important. Hang on. What's done first and what's done next, and how the fire trucks and the people are being used against the fire. If it's a field fire, you do it differently than if it's a house fire, and so on. And when your mag does your setup, let's just pretend we're still in the camping example. Is security an issue? Do we need to have security set up? If it's a military thing, of course my husband's going to cover that, and I'm sure it's the first thing you do. And what would the security concerns besides people be when you're camping? Could be bears, could be wolverines, could be coyotes, or wild dogs, or, you know, just maybe it's ground squirrels because they're carrying the plague, you know. Dogman, Sasquatch. As a group, you would find out these things at the site before you went. So security is going to be one of the things. Your shelter is going to be one of the things. Your food and how it's handled and how you're going to clean it up would be something you'd be concerned with. Is there bathing facilities? How's that all going to run? And then your evening, like, are you guys all going to sit around the campfire? Are you going to all individually just go to your tents with your family? Are your children all going to go to the campground for a while? Those are the kind of things I picture standard operating procedures assisting with if you're moving as a mag. And that's my take on it in a very short manner. All right, thanks for watching. I hope it helps somebody. Bless you. Shalom.